wow, I pushed through, let's celebrate, right? So congratulations to these individuals.
You all failed.
I'm not reading them all, but this is awesome. These are the individuals. So April month to date, Desiree, John, Kristen, everybody's crushing it. That's month to date. That's April on the left. Date on the right. Desiree leading the charge. Let's give these individuals a big hand. And the teams. Dave, top of the leaderboard in April and year to date. So January through April. Let's give all these individuals a huge hand. That's some space. Who knows what profit share is?
Bill Bird.
Bill does know what profit share is, clearly. I was talking to Winnie, she's not here today, but last month, and I think she mentioned it, last month, Winnie got $1,600 in profit share, which was awesome. She has 15 individuals in her first level, and she accumulated those 15 individuals at her first level in the last year and a half, right? So when you're purposeful about something, it can really come to fruition quick. So a huge hand to these individuals. Bill leading the charge, Diana, Ryan, John, Susie, Constance, Terry. I see Terry back there. Anytime, Joseph and Mike. Let's give them a hand. Profit share. Reach out to the growth team. Reach out to anybody on the leadership team, and go to Wealth Building Wednesdays. Wealth Building Wednesdays have been awesome. I think they just had an individual last month, and that's usually the third Wednesday, I think, of every month, right? Fourth. It's the fourth Wednesday of every month. And the last individual talked about cryptocurrency, and she's leveraging cryptocurrency in buying property. This is the most fascinating conversation. And I think next month she has somebody else that's going to be talking about a net worth tracker. So if you don't track your net worth, that's something you can start to do. Come to Wealth Building Wednesday and learn more about what is net worth, why should I track it, how do I track it, and all that good stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's Wednesday, the fourth Wednesday of every month. And it rotates between market centers. I think it's probably here next
This month.
April, or May.
May.
Is this May?
This is May.
May. There we go, cappers. Let's give these individuals a hand. 100%. Gotta love it. Johnny, there you go. You look cute. It's a nice little picture.
Is this workplace sexual harassment?
La, la, la.
But yeah, who's HR?
I think I'm HR.
First closings, Melanie, Brooke, and Sadie. Congratulations.
Oh, yes. Oh, I got it. I just wanted the graphic. It may not work.
Next.
Don't worry about it. It was birthdays, but there's
Oh.
an error.
Birthdays.
Uh-oh.
Unable
I'm trying
to
get
play.
fancy here, and now this is unable to play video.
We're not. Now we
I
know.
Hold on.
I bet it was great too.
It was cool. It had a cute little graphic on it.
Oh boy.
It's fine.
You're just gonna, you have to click the next slide and then open it.
Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties.
Nice. So
But
happy birthday
nice
or
to-
whatever. What was the graphic?
Birthdays.
Well, it has little like,
Firecrackers.
confetti and stuff.
So, welcome to the family. So Andrew, Kelly, Mike, Pam, Amy, Dakota, Holly, April, and Adam.
Cause you just joined us.
This side.
Yeah, this
Post
part is
office. Yep.
West Side, Sugar Mountain Pleasant. Awesome. So let's give them a hand. On that. No, Dakota will.
All right, let's see if this video works. Sorry. So this is a message from Elizabeth Anderson. I have to turn this up.
Oh boy.
Let's go. It works. Sorry, y'all, none of my videos are working.
All good.
But Elizabeth is wanting to implement like a 10-minute stretch and like mindset video Zoom call, once a day. So she's gonna be sending out a survey, and I'll also put in the team meeting recap. I wish the video would work because she's on a yoga journey and she's just finishing her certification.
No, she
correct?
already finished
She
it.
got her certification. So she's wanting to just give this out to everybody between the offices, have a mindset start to the day. There's gonna be a couple times that you can vote on, but you'll join via Zoom. So wherever you are, you need just a good like mindset boost and or some stretches that could implement. A lot of you are in the car every day or, you know, sitting at a desk, like some stretches that could be implemented. So be on the lookout for that. She's really excited about it and wants to be able to spread some of her wisdom to all of you guys and as well as West Ashley. So this will be kind of a joint thing as well.
So definitely, and I'm sure the video, we'll get the video in the
I'll send it in the
recap,
recap, yeah.
so that you can get a little bit more information about it, but keep an eye out for emails about this
I think
also.
it's still working.
It's awesome doing this shit fun. And now, this is my favorite part of the week. I don't know what you guys think.
It's
but
my
it's my
favorite
favorite.
part.
This is the broker minute. It's probably gonna be like 5. You're like, well, looks like it's gonna be 5. Whoa. Good luck. How are you? I'm good. I got that song.
It hasn't been
Was it
on?
not on for me?
I forgot.
This is like, oh, you turn it off.
All right, you're in good hands. All right, so a couple things on the broker minute. Pop quiz. What exactly is changing about due diligence in the new contract? About the due diligence procedure? Nothing. Nothing is changing. Everyone's freaking out about what due diligence is. It is the exact same. However, repair procedure and as is are being removed. So write these dates down. The 2nd, June 2nd at 12, June 6th at 2, and June 9th at 12. Those are 3 options where we're going to go through this entire thing, start to finish. The 2nd will be here, the 6th will be virtual, and the 9th will be in West Ashley. We're going to cover all of it. We're going to record it. We're going to send it out. A couple things that are going around right now that aren't super great. Number 1, no, you absolutely are not responsible to collect the termination fee upon ratification. I repeat, you are not to collect the termination fee as the agent upon ratification because there's no one to give it to, and by law, you can't hold on to that. There is an opinion that has been going around by someone who is very wise, who hopefully will be changing their mind soon. I have confirmed with numerous people, do not collect a termination fee upon ratification. The termination fee is only written when it is actually terminated. So that does mean you do have to write that check, get the check from them in time to deliver it to the seller, but you don't collect it at ratification. Everybody understand that?
So collective ratification.
Yeah.
It's a big option.
It is made out to the seller.
And it can also be paid via Venmo.
It can also, it's any means to be paid. It's not just check, but it has to go directly to the seller in order for it to be terminated, the exact same way it is. Number 2 that's going around right now, it is not a requirement to be anything, any certain number. It can still be 0. There are a lot of people right now that are saying, well, we heard in the class that it can't be 0, so your buyer has to pay us at least a certain amount. There's no requirement on a certain amount. Okay, so those are the 2 things that are going around. We'll get through it. It'll be fine. John?
That gets negotiated at contract, right?
Correct. Everything gets negotiated. It's whatever both parties agree to.
$10,000 sounds reasonable.
Yeah, it is. Again, there's no difference to it. The problem is we haven't been using it a lot lately, so everyone's freaking out. All right, number 2, completely unrelated. There are a lot of people out there that are not paying the level of commission that a lot of you don't like.
Talk about
Okay, so I understand that. I understand it's frustrating. We can have those conversations on how you can negotiate with your client. However, I'm going to ask, and nobody in this room is guilty of it, but I know that you have a lot of influence. Please, please, please be careful about talking about commissions on Facebook. Really, that's my only request. like saying I don't like this builder, like you not only are getting yourself in trouble, you're getting the entire group in that community in trouble. And there's no joke on this right now. So again, if you have questions about this, let me know. Just please, just be smart about that. That's all I got.
Man.
What? We'll get to that in class. Sorry, after all that, I know.
Which class is virtual? Which day?
The 6th.
Thanks,
And I'll send that out in team meeting recap as well with the links to sign up.
thanks.
What else?
Coming up.
Oh, yeah, what's coming up?
So this is on Friday, CES is, I'm just gonna sit and do the slides. Is luxury, the mindset of luxury with James Durant. Not sure if I said it right, but Friday, May 20th from 12 to 2, it's on the calendar. I know there's a good group of people that are in luxury, so I want to highlight this one, because it is happening this week as well. So that will be a team meeting recap with the link to sign up. It'll be via Zoom as well. June, we have Tech Tuesdays every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. Or actually.
First and third.
It's fine. Profit Through Personalities with Chuck Johnson. This is another DISC class. I read a little bit about it. It's on the calendar. But it's another DISC type class if you're interested in that. MREI with Denise, how do you say her last name?
Chambray.
Chambray, fancy. And then Systematize Your Legion with Zach Younger. So we've had a lot of things recently, but these are all virtual, just so you know that. If you have questions, come see me. If you have questions, come see me or email. That's all I got.
All right. Can I borrow your stool?
You done with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Jan. Let's give Jan a hand.
Stop share.
So Jan and I had the awesome opportunity, Desiree was down there too. But Jan and I had the great opportunity to go down to Savannah and we'll sit together. Just like in Savannah.
Kristen, just a minute.
So we went down to Savannah and we listened, there was probably about 350 people there. And we got to listen to some amazing panels. And we wanted to take the next 20 minutes or so and share a couple of our ahas and some of the really cool things that we heard from some of the top minds in our region and in the Southeast region. We also heard from an awesome guy named Damon West, who, well, I guess it was, and Stephen Mackey, who wrote this book, Locker Room. And if you listen up after, we're going to give this away, so pay attention. And we're going to talk a little bit about the coffee bean story. Has anybody ever heard of the coffee bean story? Be the coffee bean. It's epic. And Jan's going to share kind of what she got from it. But without further ado, Jan, what were some of your biggest ahas from the Mega Agent Summit?
The first person that spoke was a gentleman out of the Washington DC area, and his name was Bo Menkitty. If you have not taken the time to look him up, you should do so.
He's awesome.
Because all of these people that end up in big positions have an attitude of abundant mindset. And they are amazing. And they always start as an individual, and then they're aware enough of their surroundings that they can then grow into the need of the people around them. And hearing him and looking him up and seeing who he is, I think you would all find amazing, particularly John Crumpton and Mike. Those were the two people that if I could have immediately transported two people to that, listen to him as our initial speaker, y'all would have been the two I would have transported.
Yeah, he was pretty unbelievable.
So he said, one of the main things that he said in the end that I think we needed to be conscious of is that you must live within your means. That you must know, when was the last time you checked your balance statement? When was the last time you checked your profit and loss? Particularly going forward now. And what you do is you spend less than you make so that you can use the difference to invest in your future that does not involve your time. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Real estate is simple, it is not
Easy.
easy. Making money in real estate is simple, it is not easy. Building a budget that you live within is,
Simple.
it is not
Easy.
easy. So checking someplace that you know where you are each month to go back and review, particularly now that we are in a shift, is going to be absolutely epic to your business going forward, to sustain you and build you and know that you are coming from abundance.
Who has a profit and loss statement?
Who looks at it? How often do you look at your profit and loss statement, Glenn?
Once a quarter.
Once a quarter? Okay, once a month? So if you have anybody that needs help with your profit and loss statement, talk to someone that has one. Okay, and see what the benefits they find of having a profit and loss are. And it's more important that you know you're losing than knowing that you're making money.
Right.
How do you make decisions? Oh, that was a big, no, say that again.
It's more important that you know when you're losing money than when you're making money.
And how do you make decisions if you don't know how much money you're making? Like, how do I make decisions in my business if I don't know how much money the expenses that I'm already creating make? It's very difficult, even quarterly or I would quarterly, monthly. The more we look at it, the more we analyze what those numbers mean, and then where we currently are, the easier we can make decisions about our business to make sure we stay on track. Because if we don't know that we're losing money, and we keep on spending the money, at the end of the year, what's gonna happen? I don't have any money.
Or what if you don't put aside for the IRS?
That's a bad one.
Yeah, what do?
That is a.
Collect anyway.
Keeps knocking.
They actually can attach your bank account. They can attach your property. So it's very important that you know where you stand and that you put money aside for tax. Come on in, Lane.
Am I wearing clothes?
Well, and I have written here gradually and suddenly, I think that applies, right?
Absolutely.
Because he talks so much about growth, right? Growth is gradually, then suddenly. And they drew up a kind of this was an awesome kind of visual where people tend to give up, break down before victory. Has anybody ever heard of that? Right? Bless you. And we also think of everything as linear, not geometric. Like, it's not just a straight line up, right? It's a hockey stick curve. And Jen, I'll let you talk through that. But the gradually then suddenly shows up in a lot of different areas in our life, including the profit and loss statement. Because you can be losing so slowly that you think you're winning. And then all of a sudden you look and you realize that you've been losing for 11 months. And now shit really hit the fan. Excuse me. Who cares? So it gradually then suddenly, right? I'll let you talk through that graph there.
So this is where most of us are. The people that were speaking, they were closer to up here. However, they didn't start up here in their careers. They started down here, putting in time and effort. What happens if you get to this point, and this is 2022, market is shifting, and what happens if you quit?
Before you reached your peak.
You quit before you've reached your peak. Thank you, Lynn. That's exactly right. You haven't reached where you could have gone, because the only time you lose is when you do what? When you quit. That's the only time that you lose. So if you find that you're on this second line that I drew, by looking at your profit and loss statement, you then have the opportunity to make changes each month that allow you to make this shift and to move up that curve.
Most people say that we overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 5. It shows up constantly. because it's just a matter of how patient and consistent we're being with the actions that we're taking. And then obviously, we're always evaluating those actions so that we can get to that year 3 or year 5 or whatever the number is, where that exponential curve, that exponential growth curve happens.
And when are you forced to retire in real estate?
Never.
So you always have the option of where you want to go and what you want to do, as long as you are aware of where you are.
Exactly.
Does this, any questions? So if you're having, this is year 1, we always have to start kind of at the bottom, everybody but Anton.
Jokes.
True.
That's-
So here we are along this curve in 2020. And if you have time, we are right at the mid-year for you to have an opportunity to look at where you are mid-year right now and what you can do with the last half of your year to make 2022 the best year you've ever had. So that brings us to the second speaker,
Yes, Dustin.
Dusty. Dusty,
He was pretty cool.
he's very enthusiastic.
Yeah, he is.
This is a very
He really
interesting
understands.
Well, that's all right.
Quite the accent.
If you came to Mill Street, he'd always turn right on Mill Street because that's where his house was. And when his parents moved and he still turned right on Mill Street, couldn't find his house. So,
In his cowboy hat.
and his cowboy hat.
Mm.
And he has a twin brother named Rusty.
Yeah.
Rusty and Dusty.
He really does, yeah.
I met a kid named Dusty Rhodes. His last name is Rhodes.
What
and
were
his
some
name
of
is
your
Dusty.
odds from Dustin?
Well, from Dustin, I thought the best thing he said was that they are changing bold. Okay?
Room got quiet.
And the changes they are making are very progressive and very forward-looking. And this is a good time, if you have a Mounts coach, or if you are interested in bold, to email them and let them know what you would like. They want to tier it to the different levels. If you're a beginning agent and you're just starting out, sometimes hearing all of the information is like being shot with a fire hose, and it can just take you out of the program almost. So if they're going to measure it back and you have a choice of coming in, you haven't taken it but once or twice, as a single agent, you would be in one group. If you're on a team with team dynamics, you would be with a different group. If you are a mega agent, then you are going to be in a different group with production, and they're working very, very hard to get these levels sorted out. I think it's a great way to go. Because as we grow in real estate, our needs grow and our wants grow with what we want to get out of it. Whether we're coming in or whether we're exiting, how do we, as a senior agent, find and figure out an exit plan so that our clients are taken care of? How are we, as a new agent coming in, maybe team up with a senior agent and help them move out? So that was one of the best things that he said. Then he drew this picture. Oh, we're gonna love this.
That powerful.
That's powerful.
She draws way better than you do.
Yeah.
Wait, this is my car.
Perfect.
Ooh,
Spaceship.
man. Good car.
Wheels.
Yeah, love it.
Wheels on the bus.
Looks really good.
So here we have a car and it's going down a highway in Texas. And he actually crashes into the power pole and dies. It's a high school friend of Dusty's. Dusty's very upset by this. And he goes out to the scene and he measures the power pole. Do any of y'all know how wide a power pole is?
7 inches.
14.
Oh,
We'll put 14 inches down, okay? That's 14 inches. And he measured the distance to the next power pole and to the power pole he passed. He didn't hit either one of those. He hit this one. There was 478 feet between each power pole. Why did he hit the power pole?
Went off track.
Why are you successful or not successful in your business? Because what you focus on expands. This became the biggest item in his windshield and in his mind. So where are you going to go with your business? Are you going to focus on the fact that we now have a lot of listings and interest rates are going up and things are getting challenging? They're always challenging. Every market's challenging. I've never been in a market that wasn't challenging. The challenges are just different. So what are you going to focus on? Are you going to crash and burn in the power pole? Or are you going to focus on all this open space that needs to be sold?
That'll preach.
So I thought that was very powerful from Dusty, particularly knowing that he is in charge of changing the MAPS program together with some very, very smart people to making it more about us as agents and pouring into us and moving forward with our systems and our processes to make us better at what we do. Not to make it harder, but to make it better and to make it better. Not harder, just better.
One of the things he also said, kind of along these lines, he said, habits lead us back to where we are. Change these to change where you are. 9 times out of 10, where we are, well, not 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, we are where we are because of the choices that we made. The choices that we made are simply a byproduct of the habits that we've created. And if we want to change something, or if we want to focus on something new, or we want to take a turn, right? You have to know where to turn, right? That's by being aware of our business and where we are. But then we also have to focus on something new, change the habits that we have as compared to focus on the old habits that are just continuing to keep us where we are. It was a huge, huge aha for me.
It was. And I thought that was great. That was one of the big ahas that I had as well. Our next speaker was a gentleman named Jordan Freed. And for the first time since I have been in Keller Williams, I thought this was a person that actually was an excellent coach. Excellent. And his big focus was mindset. He had 2, mindset.
Jen, what was his last name?
Freed, F-R-E-E-D.
He teaches a course called Free Life.
Well, isn't that
Which is
convenient?
smart. Good job.
What would your class title be? Marianne?
Tomatoes, pomodoro, Mary.
So this is what he talked about, that I was impressed with his mindset. This is an iceberg. My rendition of an iceberg. And there's a reason I did not get accepted in art school. So this is the problem. And that's the part you see above the water line. What is down here?
80%.
80%. This is your 20%.
Stuff that sinks, yeah.
And this is the 80%. So what makes the problem get solved? Habits. And one more thing.
Doing. Mindset.
Oh. Can you solve the problem? Do you believe you can or you can't? Which one is right?
Either.
Whichever one you believe. So his talking about mindset, and that your mindset needs to be 80% in a positive direction, and the ability that you can believe that you can get this done is extremely important in order to solve the problems as smoothly for the consumer and for you, so that you can get it accomplished. The second thing he talked about was anxiety and burnout. And they're seeing it all over Keller Williams. That was one of the things that they talked about. We've been on a 2-year adrenaline rush, in case you haven't noticed. in real estate. We've been on emergency medicine because when a house comes on the market, what do? We turn on the red lights, we put on the siren, we grab the buyer, we say, we gotta go see it. We're there are 30 other people showing the house. You gotta make a decision right now or not. If you don't, you won't, you can't. Right? That's gone. We've got a few holdovers and we've got a few holdover markets. However, I'm beginning to see markdowns. I'm beginning to see days on market extend. Who's wondering what's happening?
Everybody should.
Sellers in particular. Why isn't my house selling? What have the agents done? Overpromised and in appearance to the seller, under delivery. So we've got to watch for anxiety and reduce the anxiety in our buyers and sellers by being more upfront with them about what's actually happening. And then you have to begin recharging yourself now that your adrenaline rush is dropping. You've got to be aware of burnout. You've got to protect your time. Take back your Wednesday afternoon. Go to the beach so you can still show houses on the weekend. Take time to go out to dinner or to the movies. Take time to decompress, work out, enjoy life. It's the only one you've got. So now you've got time to enjoy it. So that was his speech. Jim Talbot then who is the head of the research, did an economic update for us. And we can send you the slides or we can go over them another time. Because we wanted to get to the last one, Damon West and Stephen Mackey, right?
Yes, yeah, they were awesome.
So when I went down there, I think I told Prompton this. I said, you know, I'm not really excited. I do not want to go and hear this guy, Damon West. He's out of prison. What am I going to learn from him? He's been in prison, right?
Like really in prison, like 68 years sentence in prison.
What?
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
So his story.
You don't say.
His
Kristen,
story was
Kristen,
very
we can see it.
Damon was in college. He was from a very good family. Couldn't blame it on anything. Got
Right.
involved with
Quarterback, he was a quarterback
Yep.
in college, starting quarterback at a top college.
at
in
a top
Texas.
college in Texas. He was doing really well, except he had this little drug habit. And he was stealing from the neighbors, his family neighbors, the neighbors around the college. And
He got caught
he got caught. What happened?
while he was doing his habit. The police came in, and he was a part of one of the largest busts, I think, in Dallas ever.
Yeah.
And
That's
got
all.
sent to prison. He was sentenced after 10 months, sentenced to 67 or 68 years.
This is the part I liked as a parent.
Oh, yeah.
This is his mother. Does that tell you something, guys? Okay, so he goes to the courthouse, he goes for the trial. The trial takes 2 days. Guess how long it took them to sentence him?
10 minutes. Yeah.
10 minutes. So
That's never good for a defendant.
Mm-mm.
that tells you something. So he thought. So they came back, and during that time, the foreman of the jury sent a message to the judge asking if they could give him life in prison. Now, mind you, he had not killed anyone. Okay, he only took stuff and sold it. It wasn't his stuff. So when they sentenced him, he stood up in the courtroom and he said, I didn't kill anybody. And the judge looked at him and said, you did the crime, you do the time. The end.
The maximum sentence for that particular felon, 67 years.
67 years. So he's in a holding cell before he is carted off to prison, and his mother and father go in. They've never been divorced. They've been together forever. They've loved their son. They've supported him. They helped him get to where he was. And he tells his mother, I didn't do it. And she said, you did the crime, you do the time, and you owe me and your father. You owe me no prison gangs and no tattoos. He promised his mother he would not join a gang and not do tattoos. Now, I'm gonna tell you, if you know anybody in prison, the way to survival is generally through joining a gang immediately within the first week that you get in and getting tattooed so that you're identified with that gang.
And everybody that he had talked to told him, you gotta find a gang, or else you don't stand a chance, you gotta find a gang. And now he just told his mother and made a promise to his mother that he wasn't going to join a gang. Naturally, he was a little nervous. She really nervous. And he met this guy, I think he called him, what was his name, Mr. Jackson or something?
Mr. Jack,
Mr. Jack or Mr. Jackson, and he met this guy, and he tells a story about being a coffee bean, right? You want to go into that?
and he asked Mr. Jack, he said, why are you always so happy? You're in here with these guys, everybody's miserable, everybody's mean. Why are you so happy? He goes, well, I am. He said, well, you're in here for life. You're never getting out. He goes, I know. He said, I've got 3 choices, and you have the same 3 choices that I do. There is a pot of boiling water, and you have the choice of being the carrot, the egg, or the coffee bean. If you're the carrot, what happens to you when you get in that boiling water?
Turn into mush.
Exactly. What happens if you're the egg?
You become
Hard as a rock.
Hard boiled. What happens if you're the coffee bean?
You flake the water.
Yeah.
Change the water.
You change the water. Are you going to be in life the carrot, the egg, or the coffee bean? The coffee bean does not go away. The coffee bean has the opportunity to make a difference. He was the coffee bean. After 10 years, 10 or 13 years,
I don't remember exactly.
I can't remember if it was 10 or 13 years, the prison administration came to him and they said, we are putting you up for parole. You have made such a difference in our prison that we are going to recommend you for parole. So that is the way that he got out. And the rest of his story is just as interesting. Now, he gave us 5 steps
It was 5 steps to be a coffee bean.
to be a
I thought
coffee.
that was great.
Okay?
You love being stuff.
Be a coffee bean.
Step number 1, work out daily,
Another sign.
spiritually, physically, and mentally. The secret, number 2, is the secret to living a full life.
Well, let's real quick with the workout every day. He goes further, he says, get up and work out every day. And he was talking specifically about all 3 of those areas, spiritually, physically, and mentally. He said, you are what you eat, right? What's coming into your body is what's creating, right? You. So make sure that you're around the right things, make sure you're making the right choices so that you can continue to get better toward whatever it is that you want to be.
It's the secret to life. And this, if you're in real estate, I believe this is your secret to life, whether you admit it or not, is serving others and being humble.
When you help others,
When you
you help
help others,
yourself.
when you help others achieve their dreams and homes, and y'all run into epic tales every day, serve them, listen. You probably can't fix them. However, you can sympathize and you can be humble with them about their situations. Number 3 was 4 things you control in life. What you think, what you say, what you feel, and what you do. Those are the things that you can control in your life. No one else's, just yours.
And which one of those can everybody else see? What you do, right? And because he talks so much about you control, all of those things that you control are between your ears, right? It's so funny. We always talk about 90% of all of this being mindset.
Yeah.
And it's about what we can control. We can't control anything else. I can't control John, right? I can control me, that's all. And the things that I think become the things that I do. So yeah, I love that one. This one's really good too.
I know this was. Your past doesn't define your past does not define your future. Real estate for most people is not a first career. Your past career does not define or limit your success in your career in this industry. Who does?
You,
And with what?
your mind.
Your mindset, absolutely. So past equals lessons, present equals gifts, and future equals
Motivation. And he even said, it's, if I was defined by my past, I was sentenced to 68 years in prison with the worst people in the world. If the past defined me, I wouldn't be on this screen or on this stage talking to you about motivation and about being a coffee bean. So it was pretty interesting when you think of it from that perspective. Your past is simply a lesson, and the present day is a gift because you got up and you got the opportunity to make other people smile. And the future is your motivation. And then it goes to number 5.
It does. And it all starts with a smile every day for everyone that you meet. Energy is our body language. A smile shared is a gift you've given.
Yeah, he said the powder, he said everything starts with energy. The really cool thing about when he talked about the coffee bean was when he was a coffee bean in the prison, right? And he constantly thought about walking around and smiling. Not only does he bring a different energy, but when you put out energy, you attract that same energy back, right? So when by putting that energy out, he was able to attract those individuals that thought like him to be around him. And now he's created a tribe that protected him, that protected each other, because they were all like-minded and positive thinking individuals, right? And it was the same with this idea of anytime, one of the most powerful things you can do when walking into a room to completely control the power of that room or the energy in that room is smile. And we all have the ability to do it. And he walked into a prison of a bunch of really bad people and smiled constantly and made it through probably one of the more difficult time periods of his life.
It was a level 5 security prison, so it
Yeah.
was
Like
not,
the worst place you could be.
yeah, it was like one of the worst prisons that you could go to. So my challenge to you, as I know you are all coffee beans, and I want you to make a really good cup of coffee. I don't want to get any bitter coffee out of this one, okay?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is, guys, that was it. And the other half of this story in this book is just phenomenal. While we were down, I will tell y'all that this conference was one of the best conferences with KW I've ever had the privilege to attend. And I have to thank Joseph and I have to thank Vince for encouraging me to go, because I did not want to go and get a sales pitch on maps. I did not want to go and get a sales pitch on Bold. I did not want to hear some guy in prison. And I have found it to be one of the most rewarding conferences that I've been to, because it wasn't too big and it wasn't too small. And we got to introduce this book. It was put on Amazon the day that we were there. That when
Yeah,
we
that was
were
the
the
launch. It's kind of cool.
the locker room. And it's
So,
very-
so who wants this? Who else? You gotta answer a couple questions. It's gonna be great.
You asked questions.
All right, I'm gonna think of a question. Naturally. So here's the question. What are the 5 things you have to do to be a coffee bean?
I get it.
They're all-
Work out daily, serve others to be humble, control what you think. The past is a lesson, the present is a gift, and the future is motivation, and it starts with a smile.
I love it, Laura wins. And here's the last thing, I'll give another book away, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna send me by the end of the day, and it'll be completely confidential, you're gonna send me your P and L. So if you don't have one, hurry up and create one. But if you send me your P and L by the end of the day, and give me 3 ahas from that P and L, I'll give you a book.
That goes for Zoom too.
Zoom
That goes-
too, for the
Absolutely.
Zoom one.
Should include Zoom on that.
So you're gonna wanna get on that, because it's a really good book that I haven't read yet, but I will.
They just came in yesterday.
Yeah, I know, I ordered like 10 copies too.
That's awesome. That's
So,
awesome. Guys,
send me,
thank
you
you.
know, you guys are the best.
Thank
you.
She's sitting there.
Okay,
24.
I gotta go.